What's up guys, I'm here with another video. Welcome to episode 55 of building stuff. Today we're building a car wash. So welcome to episode 55 of building stuff today. Okay, I think we're set up and ready, so let's build this car wash.
Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make your very own car wash for all of your city building needs. And of course, not only will I show you how to make the outside of your car wash, but the very tiny interior where we pay for the car wash, and also where we can just kind of like sit and chill out and have coffee as well. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please do remember to like the video, as that helps me and the channel out very, very much. And if you're new around here, subscribe, click that little bell next to the subscription button.
Hello, Air21 site, welcome to live stream.
But without any further ado, let's get started. So, just before we start building, everybody.
Alright. So, we need blue concrete, yellow concrete, block of quarters, quartz slab, quartz stairs, and we also need some light grey concrete and grey concrete. Rails and glass.
Here are all of the materials that we are going to be using throughout the build. Please do make sure that you have access to all those materials and enough of them as well. It's also worth mentioning that we will need more stuff than what I just showed you. Unfortunately, this car wash requires quite a bit to make it, so we will be grabbing a lot of stuff from another item list later as well. The amount of space required to make the build is a 37 by 22 block area, as represented by this white concrete grid on the ground, which will be vastly useful to you if you are planning out a city. So feel free to make this if you feel as though you need it. And that's it.
Hello, David McDonald. Welcome to live stream.
Make sure you've got enough room to make it. Make sure you're ready. And once you are, we can begin. Step 1, my car wash building friends. Come all the way over to the front left-hand corner of your grid, if you've made it, and count to the right of this corner. 1, 2.
Hold on. I need to sort some out real quick. Alright, let's continue.
3, 4, 5, 6. And then inwards, 1, 2. We're going to start off by placing a blue concrete on the ground with 2 yellow concrete on top of it, and then we're going to turn sideways, take this blue concrete that is indeed on the ground, and we're going to extend it backwards by 13.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We then want to extend it across the back by 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to extend it inwards by 1. Place a block of quartz.
Hello, Shadow the Hedgehog. Welcome to live stream.
We will be coming back to this very shortly, but what I want to finish up is extending the blue concrete forwards so that it matches the opposite row of blue concrete that we have just to the left of us. I want you to place 2 upside down quartz stairs extending from the blue concrete this way. Stick a blue concrete on the ends. I want you to place 2 rows of glass on top of the upside down stairs. What we are then going to do is place 2 rows of yellow concrete directly on top of all of these blue concretes. This is subject to change. What I mean by that is we are going to be adding windows later if you feel as though that you want to add windows. And at the very least add 1 to the inside, but that's much easier placed a little bit later on. And in addition to this as well, I would highly recommend joining above the door area using yellow concrete, placing a layer of quartz slabs hanging off the front building such as this, leaving a gap of 1 on top of the building, and then placing rows of quartz slab that kind of just ascends over the building like this. We have specifically left that first row alone because we're going to be placing a little, I guess it's kind of like a pixel art, sort of like a little pixel art car up there. We'll be sorting that out a little bit later on. But now that we've done that, we are going to return back to this ever so important quartz block at the front of the, or the back of the build actually, it's not the front. On top of this quartz block we want to place 2 blue concretes. We then want to place a block of quartz on top with a quartz slab on top of that. Extend left by 6 using quartz slabs.
6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're then going to place underneath this block a block of quartz. We then want to place ourselves 2 blue concretes and then join to the ground using a block of quartz. We then want to take the quartz slab on top and we want to extend left by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're going to copy what we've done.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So quartz block, 2 blue concretes, and then join to the ground with a block of quartz. And by the way, this can go on and on and on and on if you like. Depending upon how many places you want people to be able to wash their cars, you might even just want the 1. You can just keep extending that infinitely. Probably not infinitely, although I do believe that this is an infinite world, so probably infinitely. So many people could be washing their cars, nobody has an excuse for it to be dirty. So, what we then want to do is we want to take the sides of this, and by the way, I still wouldn't clean my car. My car is filthy. Even if there was an unlimited amount of car washes, I would still leave it filthy. I'm so lazy. We are going to extend the blue concrete that we have here. We're going to extend them towards the front of the build by 2 rows. So 1, 2. We're then going to place 3 rows, 1, 2, 3 of glass. That can be pane or block, doesn't really matter. And then we want to place 3 more rows, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 of blue concrete. This can actually persist throughout the entire build, meaning here we can have 2 rows of blue and then 3 rows of glass, and we can top it off with another 3 rows of blue. When it comes to here, the thing about this is that you'll notice that we'll add the 2 rows of blue first, but when it comes to this, you can just turn this into a window. I don't think that this impacts the actual inside that much, so you can just have a triple window, or perhaps we'll turn it to a double a little bit later on, we'll see. So we have the window that's built into the inside of the waiting area, and then another 3 blue concrete. And then basically what we would then have to do is just place block of quartz underneath it all, block of quartz on top of it all, and then we'll keep doing that, and then once we've finished we'll carry on a little bit more, because of course that still quite a bit to do. What we actually, before we do put the roof on, whilst we can still see quite effectively, so these are the two car washing areas, as I mentioned. We're actually going to dig up the entire floor inside of these areas, and we're actually missing the material already, which is a little bit annoying, but we can sort it out. We can sort it out. We might even try a different one. Although preferably, I mean, well, listen. We'll see when we get to the point. But the point of this, first of all, is the fact. We've got to dig out these areas. So these are the areas that the cars are going to be driving through. On the outer parts of the areas, we want to have strips of light grey concrete extending front to back. Grey concrete in between them. And then originally, smooth stone slabs in between and below these areas here, it's basically just so that there's like places for the water to go. If you wanted to be crazy, actually, we might even do this a little bit. We've actually got the perfect block for this, so I'll tell you what. No, we don't. We will have the perfect block later. I will not forget, but we could even add an extra detail where we have kind of like drains in the floor. We could actually use looms for that because they kind of have the cool effect. Anyway, we're going to run rows of rails on the grey concrete row. And that's pretty much it. That's all there is to it. I wanted to use smooth stone slabs instead of the quartz because it's just another different colour block. It's just a bit different than what we've been using. It doesn't make much of a difference, to be quite honest, structure-wise or even looks-wise. I mean, it looks completely fine. Considering the fact that it's quite dark down there anyway, it really doesn't make much of a difference whatsoever, does it, I suppose? But hey, you know. We're going to put a roof on this thing. The roof is going to be made out of quartz slabs. We already know where the quartz slabs are going because we have the initial row that is on the back. So we can just spread that across to the front, and once we have done that, we will be rapidly running out of the usefulness for materials that we have on us, although there are just a couple of things that we can do. So far, you might be able to see how the structure of this place started already. This is kind of how it all begun. On the right side of the build, we have use for the light grey concrete. In the middles of the rows where we have the blue concrete, we want to have two light grey concrete stacked on top of each other. That's a usefulness used there. On the back of the build, we are going to have just a little way to actually maybe select to wash if it's automated and all of that fun stuff, and basically little computer screens, quartz blocks with quartz stairs facing opposite on top of them like this. You don't have to use quartz. If you wanted to, you could use, say, I wouldn't use that. Maybe grey concrete would be fine, or you could use white concrete block or something like that if you wanted to contrast against the white. That looks completely fine. But next we also want to make where the sign is going to go, so that there is a sign directly above us, directly above where the cars get washed, and the sign starts on the left and right sides. So from each corner we want to count inwards and find the third block. This would be the first, second, and then the third. Make a solid quartz block and then place two more on top, 1 and 2. Place a quartz slab on top of that and extend it all the way over to the right and join it down. This is going to be how the sign is pretty much made. There we go. So that up on top of that and extend it all the way over to the right and join it down. This is going to be how the sign is pretty much made. There we go, so that's kind of the framework for the sign. Let's see what other juicy blocks we have here. So that we can make this build look a bit better. End rods, yellow wool, orange wool, light blue wool, hop red concrete, white concrete cauldrons, and tripwire hooks. Since we were just working on the sign, we're going to place a layer of red concrete extending inwards from both layers of the sign, so both sides of the sign like this. We then want to have on the left side enough room to be able to write the word car with banners, so that requires 1, 2, 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3 spaces. We then need to have a little gap of 2, otherwise the sign is a bit wonky, and then W-A-S-H. There we go. That will allow us to write the word car wash. As easy as that. So, what do we now want to do? I guess we are going to make the insides of the where the cars actually get washed a little bit more. So, we'll focus at one and then we'll do the other because they're the exact same pretty much. I'm going to place end rods extending from each one of the, like the top of the insides of like where the cars go here, extending inwards on the left and the right. And we're going to use 2 colours. You can use any 2 colours for this, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't matter which colours you choose. Just make it nice and colourful pretty much. And you can place them in whichever order you choose, as long as you do, say, orange, yellow, and then orange. You just want to adhere to a pattern like that. So that is the sponge spinny thing that goes over the top of your car, whatever you want to call that. And we are going to have 3 separate like those sponge things that kind of like spin around that are on the sides of your car. They're spaced evenly apart, so if you were to place one where the center of the window is, and again I'm going to place an orange, yellow, orange, and here on the opposite side orange, yellow, orange, and then if you leave gaps of 1 between each of them, then you have actually managed to space them evenly apart. And they also do not touch, or at least directly touch, the end rods or anything like that. So it's spaced apart quite nicely. You can see that's looking pretty good. Well, what else can we do here? So I want to use hoppers to look like basically just kind of like water jets. So I'm actually going to space them in between where the big sponge thing. Basically just kind of like water jets. So I'm actually going to space them in between where the big sponge things are. I really don't know what to call these. In between where the big sponge things are, and I'm just placing 4 of them like this. That's like where the water would shoot down from. And that's all there is to it. So we can do this on the opposite side. And if you wanted to, you can actually have it so that the sponge, or again whatever you want to call it, is set backwards in this side if you wanted to. So if you wanted to, you could have it on the back this time. I don't think it makes much of a difference. No, it doesn't. Okay, good. And this time we're using 2 different colours. We're going to use, well, the yellow again, but we're also going to use the blue as well. And we're using a little bit more yellow than we did on the opposite side. So there's the overhead one. We want to have the one in the middle. They'll be spaced 1 block apart on both sides. And then we will have the yellow on top like this. And then we place the light blue on top of that. So, like that, boom, 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 and then simply the hoppers. You guys know where the hoppers go. They go here and here. So we want to have something which should look exactly like that. And we're actually then able to see the hoppers from the front, which is cool as well. I like how that has turned out. So we're now going to fade on to the right side of the build, and we have a little bit more detail to add here. So quite often at car washes you'll get a few different things. Like sometimes it's done by hand. So we're going to have cauldrons next to these two rows of light grey concrete rows. Actually, we'll have a cauldron on the left side, and we'll have a cauldron on the right side, on the right side. We're going to place tripwire hooks above the cauldrons, and then we're going to grab. We actually need. This is what we need. So we need the diorite wall, end rod. Painting, weighted pressure plate, buttons, item frame wood, buckets, blue stained glass paint, and nothing else right now. So we're going to have diorite wall on the opposite side of the cauldrons. End rods on top of the diorite wall. We're going to have paintings in front of the tops of the light grey concrete areas, and then we're going to have pressure plates on top of that. If you like, you can fill one or both cauldrons in using water, and you can, if you like, place item frames with water buckets above where the taps are for the cauldrons, like this. That is looking pretty good. In addition to this, I like the idea of having paintings on the two again, kind of like automated computer, like you can maybe set like what sort of wash you want and stuff for your car. I like the idea of just having like painting with a button there. And in doing that, or alternatively, by the way, this is why we actually have the blue stained glass paint, my bad. So alternatively, you can also just use these to vary up. You can use item frames and blue stained glass paint, and then, you know, it's the same effect but a different way to do it, pretty much. Same brand of crisp, different flavour, I guess. Anyway, the point of this is we have now made quite a nice, we've made quite great strides here. The next thing that we're going to do, let's get rid of that bucket, is we're going to grab terracotta and we're going to grab oak leaves, and we don't have, oh, we do have the, okay, we're going to grab grey concrete. Well, and some white concrete. So I guess the first thing that I want to do is, where we have these cauldrons, we actually want to have rows of white concrete extending from the cauldrons in rows of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are basically
3, 4, 5, 6.
just car parking spaces. So again, people can use the utilities. The you know, that perhaps this is like, in my mind, these are like tire pressure gauges and stuff, so that you can fill your tires up. Maybe even hand wash it if you want, or have somebody else do it. And I'm also going to split the parking bays on the right or the middle as well. The parking bays are 6 blocks long, specifically so that I can fit my motorbikes that I like to make there, and maybe even a car, although the car would have a little bit more room. It would need a little bit more room, I should say. There is going to be a wall that goes all the way around this area. There's going to be 2 gaps in the wall though, so the wall is going to be 2 rows high and it's going to be made out of primarily terracotta. Just good old plain terracotta. I really like how it looks for a wall. If you want, you can use bricks or any other variation of whatever you would use as this area. There's going to be 2 gaps in the wall though, so the wall is going to be 2 rows high and it's going to be made. That's I shouldn't be made. Primarily terracotta. Just good old plain terracotta. I really like how it looks for a wall. If you going to be made out of primarily terracotta. Just good old plain terracotta. I really like for a wall. If you want, you can use bricks or any other variation of whatever you would use as a wall material. You could even add bars to it. You know, you go crazy. Whatever you want to do, you do. So first, we're just going to keep this simple. We're adding the wall, and we're going to add leaves all the way around the inside the wall. Contrast colour, because there's actually going to be quite a bit of grey concrete here. And it still allows us to have 4 rows, which is as wide as the cars and vehicles I usually get, so that's why I usually leave 4 rows around. So we've got a nice wall. I like the idea as well of having 2 gaps in the wall on the back right and back left side that are 4 rows wide, so 1 gap here. here on this side and another gap here on this side as well. So 4 rows again, so cars can get in and out and blah blah blah. You guys. Get the idea. The reason that I made it this way is because originally I was going to make it directly next to the petrol station that I have here. This is a gas station slash petrol station, specifically a Shell one. I don't know whether some of you guys might have made it, some of you guys might not. If you wanted to, you could actually combine it, the car wash and the garage together, if you wanted to, literally like you could combine a wall to wall, or you could make it so that they combine just like across the street. And that's why I have 2 gaps on the back there, because in my mind they kind of go together quite nicely, really. Anyway, now that we have done that, we have actually kind of, unless I'm missing something, which I might have, we've actually used most of our materials that we are going to be needing. The only thing that we could do with a material that I literally just chucked away right then, but we did have it in our inventory, is we can completely re-floor the area and we can make it grey concrete, which I'm not going to do right now, but that is something that we will be doing later, and the amount of grey concrete that will be displayed in the item list from the beginning will reflect the fact that we will have replaced all the floor. Anyway, the point is we now have to grab all of these materials that you can now see on the screen.
CAR WSH. No, I'll just grab 16.
Please make sure that you have access to all those materials and enough of them as well. That will allow us to finish the sign, it'll allow us to finish the pixel artish sort of car on top of the building entrance building, the place where you relax and watch your car get washed, and also the inside of that as well. So once you have all of that, we can continue on and finish this build off. Okay, so hopefully you have all of the stuff that I just showed you on the screen. Once you do have all of that, and by the way, we will still need more stuff on top of that, unless I do include it in that previous item list. I'm sure that we'll find out as we go on. Once you do have all of that stuff, we can finish this build off, hopefully. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to make the sign. The sign requires a loom or a crafting table. The loom is the easiest way to do it. Whilst we are talking about looms, number one, that loom is getting chucked down, but I did also hint earlier that it might be cool to use a loom as kind of like a drain. So the loom kind of does look like a drain inside of the tracks of our car wash. It looks so that water would flow down there. So perhaps you could add maybe one at the end, or one in the middle, or two in the middle, or something like this. I'm not sure which configuration I would go with. Maybe just one at the end, like this. And maybe I'd face it the other way, like so that it looks a little bit better. I think that actually looks pretty good. It just looks like a drain of some sort. I think that's just a nice little finishing touch. Anyway, the real purpose of the loom is to use it to make banners. Number one, we've got to place our banners in the banner making position. Not the top left corner of the inventory, but just to the right. If you're on Bedrock, if you're on another version, then you probably don't need to do this. First banner's going in, we have to make C. So, horizontal row of... black across the top, horizontal row of black across the bottom, and then a vertical row of black of the left side. And that is C. We have to make A. A is very easy as well. A vertical row of black on the left, a vertical row of black on the right. Horizontal row of black along the top, and finally a horizontal row of black through the middle. By the way, we're going to be using A twice, so feel free to make that again, or if you're on creative, then you won't have to do that. We have to make R. That's a horizontal row of black along the top. We have to place a vertical row of black on the left side, and then we have to place a diagonal row of black top left corner to bottom right corner, just like that. I want to make W, so W is basically we have to make...
Alright guys, I don't need this guy's help, because I already know how to make banners, so yeah. Oh no.
The triangle at the bottom of the build like this, or the basically vertical row of black on the horizontal row of black one, which is again one. So let's get these placed. Can I acquire enough room? We don't actually ever need the dies again, so if we can just get all of the banners down in our inventory, we should be good. We'll grab the stuff out later. Okay. So we have Crowash at the moment, but if we just go from left to right, C, A, R, W, A, S, H. There we go. That's looking good. Car wash. It really stands out against everything else. Black is a good choice, I think. The black on white. We have to make the actual, like, little pixel art car. The pixel art car is rather easily made using some red wool, black concrete. We need buttons, we need red wool, we need glass pane. We need item frames, and finally, I do believe we don't need anything else, just some block of iron. Feel free to change the colours of the wool to any colours that you like. Okay, so left to right, on top of this area here where we have the yellow concrete and so. Red wool, black concrete. 2 red wool, black concrete, red wool, like that. We then want to place red wool on top of the back wheel, red carpet on top. 2 glass next to the red wool going right, to red carpet on top of the glass. Red carpet on top of the front and back of the car like this, with buttons in the wheels. Item frame into the glass. Red carpet on top of the front and back of the car like this, with buttons in the wheels. Item frame in front of the car, block of iron in front of that. And there we have, it's just a little side view of a little pixel art car. It looks pretty good, I think. I don't know whether I need these materials again, otherwise I'd be very tempted to just chuck them. Okay, materials that we need more pressingly. Smooth stone, a door and chisel. Quartz block. So I'm just going to place a couple of rows of smooth stone in front of the entrance of the kind of little waiting area here. So just a couple of rows of smooth stone. Everywhere, remember, is then going to be, but everywhere else, everywhere will pretty much just be grey then. We're going to turn the floor inside here into chiseled quartz block. Chiseled quartz? Yeah, chiseled quartz block. I forget the name. Sometimes when I say the word chiseled, it makes me think of the pillar. Yeah, anyway. Chiseled quartz block, the one with the... I always think of them as like curly mustaches for some weird reason. And we want to just chuck a door on there. So that's looking pretty good. That's the outside pretty much done now, ladies and gents, except for the fact, of course, we need the grey concrete as well. But now we're able to move inside, and I think that we're actually going to do some chairs and stuff first, oddly enough. I don't know why I wanted to do this first, but in my head it's telling me to. Okay, so the chairs are made out of quartz stairs. Got some stuff. Oak fence. No! Oak fence. We also need the blue carpet, and then later on, let's try and keep a few more things in our inventory. We'll need the block of quartz. We'll need the quartz slabs. What else will we need? Polished andesite stairs, stone pressure plates. We'll need item frames and. Grab the lanterns. So inside here, I like the idea of just having a couple of seats to sit and wait. So one in this corner here, oak fence as a table, blue carpet on top, and a seat opposite side. There's going to be a coffee machine right here. We want to also have another seat. So the seats are actually going to be offset. So where these seats are here, you just want to have kind of like the exact same seating situation, except it's just kind of like this. So they're almost like diagonally placed away from each other. We want to have a counter space area back here. So that's going to be a block of quartz at each end here. And we're going to have... I just realised that this should be, I believe, a tad little bit bigger, or at least... Yeah, this should actually be a bit bigger, and we can make it bigger. We can actually demolish this wall a little bit. Here. There we go. And we can actually enjoy a little bit more counter space. We could actually even move this glass one row inwards too, so we might actually do that. and we might actually build the coffee machine in as well. So let me tell you what, I completely forgot that we could do this. So we're just going to destroy this here. We'll try and leave these seats here because that's perfectly fine, but we'll fix what we broke a little bit later on. So right next to where this window used to be, we're going to place 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks of quartz. Along this back wall, I forgot what we broke a little bit later on. So right next to where this window used to be, we're going to place 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks of quartz. Along this back wall, I forgot what I was doing, we want to place 3 upside down quartz stairs with a block of quartz on the end. We're going to use quartz slabs to kind of just create a little shelf here, just half a row above what we were just making. A lantern right on the middle here, and we are going to have an item frame just left of the lantern. We want to have a cash register, which is polished andesite stairs, and a stone pressure plate always looks good next to it, or at least I think it does. And what we can now do, since we still have it on us, is we can grab the chisel quartz block and we can just fix what we've just made there. So, there we go. Fix that. That's good. Alright, nice. What else? Well, we need the cauldron. The cauldron, we need sponge and yellow carpet. So the cauldron is basically just like an extra bucket. Yellow carpet just looks like one of those things that you like wipe cars down with, not necessarily a sponge, but those cloths. And the actual sponge is an actual sponge. Yeah, these look too big, so that's why I item framed it. If you like, you can also place a painting in here just to make it look a little bit comfy warmthier. There we go. We do have glass pane on us, although I don't think that it will look quite as good, but you can just glass pane and then the glass pane just sticks to that middle bit, which is a bit unfortunate. I like the idea of having a window just on the opposite too. In a little bit more natural light as well. That's looking pretty good. And yeah, okay, so we're rapidly coming to where we need to grab some more stuff, except for the fact that we can use the cauldron and the oak trap door. Where this window is, cauldron, oak trap door on top, and that's just basically a little bin. We could even use the red carpet, or any carpet really, to just kind of create like a little bit of carpeted area just around the back here like this. But that's not looking too bad. We could even destroy it underneath here as well. And replace it using the red wall. So like this. It's looking quite good here. And then here. Nice. I like that. So that's actually looking really good. The only thing that I want to make in here is, and by the way, I just want to have a little painting here for some weird reason. I don't even know why. So just no, something nice. No, I want the cactus. No. Yeah, I like that one. Okay, so little cactus painting there. So here is where the coffee machine is going to go. I actually don't think we need too much more, so I'm going to grab the rest of the items that will have been in the item list. I guarantee I'm going to grab the rest of the items that will have been in the item list, and then we can just finish this off. Okay, so now I have the rest of the stuff that we need just to finish this place off. Flower pot, dandelion.
Dandelion. Red terracotta. Polished andesite stairs. Item frames. Cocoa beans. The copper buttons.
Any flower, red terracotta, polished andesite stairs, item frames, cocoa beans, buttons, tripwire hook. Okay, so basically, I'm just going to place a little bit of a pot with a dandelion there to make it look nice. But more importantly, we are going to place 2 rows of red terracotta, one next to the bin here and one next to the wall. We're going to extend the red terracotta outwards like this. I think that we might also add like a backing to this as well. So what I mean by that is we're going to place an upside down polished andesite stairs just down at the bottom here, but I think that it would be quite nice if we use some black concrete as well, and just place some black concrete just kind of like in this space here. Flower pot just on the upside down stairs. We need to have a tripwire hook just up above it. Buttons on the left side of the machine, item frames on the right, cocoa beans on the right of that. Boom, there you go, coffee machine. Coffee machine, bin, places to sit, place to pay, buy some sponges, some extra supplies. I think that we've done this place. The only thing that is left to do, it's on the left, there we go. And the only thing that we have left to do is dig out all of this grass and also a little bit of white concrete and replace it with the grey concrete, and then we will be done, ladies and gentlemen. That is it. So this is what...
Alright, I'm going to destroy all the grass here and replace it with black concrete, then we will get to the ending. Oh no.
you have left to do is dig out all of this grass and also a little bit of white concrete and replace it with the grey concrete, and then we will be done, ladies and gentlemen. That is it. So this is what your car wash should look like once it has been 100% fully completed.
Do you need to clean your car? Have no fear. A car wash. Yes, guys, I built a car wash because who needs to clean their car? I built this because basically for people who have like basically dirty cars. I built this car wash because it looked very like athletic. So this build is very like colourful, and with all the orange, the yellow and the blue and yellow and orange and all that, it just looks super awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed this video of me building a car wash. If you did, guys, enjoy this video, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a video, and I'll see you guys soon. Have a lovely day, guys. Peace out.